Hey everyone, this is lesson 1.7, subtracting whole numbers. Our goal for today is to subtract whole numbers and determine whether solutions to subtraction problems are reasonable. Alright, so I'm going to start here at the top where it says unlock the problem. So Mount Bear and Mount Bonney are two mountains in Alaska. Mount Bear is 14,831 feet tall, and Mount Bonney is 16,421 feet tall. How much taller is Mount Bonney than Mount Bear? So whenever you kind of hear where it says how much taller or how much more, how much is, chances are you're going to be subtracting those two numbers, okay? So what they did first is they estimated 14,000 and 16,000. Well, because of this 8 right here, the 8 is going to change that 4 to a 5 because 8 is greater than 5. Remember, when it's 5 or greater and the place value behind it, you round up. If it's 4 or less, it just stays the same. So this 14,000 is going to become 15,000. And then the 16,421, because this is a 4, you're going to leave 16 the same and put zeros all the rest of the way. So the estimate for this problem, 16,000 minus 15,000, is 1,000. So I'm going to put 1,000 on the line. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about subtracting these numbers to find the exact number. So step 1 is you're going to go to the ones place first, just like you would in an addition problem. So 1 minus 1, we can do that one, there's no problem there, so I'm going to put a 0 underneath. But then we run into some trouble when we have 2 minus 3 in our next category. So I'm just going to type this out for us so we can see it just a little bit better. Okay. Alright, so you're going to take, I did that, 1 minus 1, and then I have a problem because I can't take 2 minus 3, because if I have 2, I can't take 3 away from that, I'd be in the negatives. So I have to go somewhere else to figure out how am I going to give that enough in order to subtract from it. So I'm going to pretend here that I have to go to my next door neighbor. So I'm in the tens category right now, and I have to go borrow from the hundreds category, or the hundreds category. Well, this isn't a good situation either because we have 4 minus 8. Okay, so I have to go all the way to the thousands period here, the thousands category, to figure out or to regroup. So I'm going to borrow 1,000 from here, and I'm going to make this 5,000 now, and I'm going to bring that 1,000 over to my hundreds. So I'm going to put a 1 there, but I still haven't fixed my issue over here. So I'm going to subtract, I'm going to take away 100 from that because we're in the hundreds category now, and turn that into a 13. So I'm going to bring that 100 over and put it into my tens category. So now I have a 12. Okay, so now if we're back over here, now I can finally take 12 minus 3. Okay, and 12 minus 3 is 9. So I'm going to put a 9 there. Okay, then I'm going to jump down, or sorry, I didn't finish over here. They're asking me how many tens I had. Well, because I put this 1 over here, that made the tens group now have 12 tens. I'm going to put 12 on the line. Okay, step 2. Regroup to subtract the hundreds. Well, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, and I did that because I wanted to show you what happens when you can't do something in the neighbor that's right next to you. You got to go knock on the other neighbor from there. And make sure, you guys, you're not jumping from here all the way to your thousands or your 10,000 spot. You have to go door to door, neighbor to neighbor. You have to go one by one. Okay, so this one we already kind of found out that instead of 5,000, we took it, or instead of 6,000, we took it away, made it 5,000, and then we had to take, bring that 1,000 to the 100 spot, and change that 14 into a 13. So on the line over here, I want you to write 13 hundreds. Okay, because we're in the hundreds category, and I changed that 14 to a 13. Okay, and I'm going to now take 13 minus 8, which is 5. So I'm going to put 5 over here as well. Okay, now we're going to go to step 3. Subtract the thousands, subtract the 10,000s. So we should be good to go because I've already borrowed here. So 5 minus 4 is 1. And then 1 minus 1 is 0, so you don't have to put anything there. So I'm going to put a 1 there as well. Okay, so they're asking us in the bottom part to answer the question. So Mount Bana is 1,590 feet taller than Mount Bear, since 1,590 is close to the estimate of, and our estimate from before was 1,000. Okay, so I'm going to put 1,000 on the line. Make sure if you're struggling to keep up that you're pausing the video and getting that stuff written where you're supposed to be getting that written at. Okay? Alright, we're going to move on to the next page. Alright, so I've already, in the next video, I screwed up in recording this video, so I'm just redoing this top part. In the next video that will be in your Schoology will be to finish out the rest of this lesson. But we're going to start up here where it says try this. Use addition to check your answer. Now this is a really good strategy to make sure you have the right answer. Which is called, there's a name for it, it's called inverse operations. That undo each other. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations, so you can use addition to check a subtraction problem, or use maybe subtraction to see if you have an addition problem right. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this problem up here, and we have already solved it from previous, so now they're taking this number and they're adding 14,000 to it, because if you add these two numbers together, you should equal 16,421. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. 1 plus 0 is 1. 9 plus 3 is 12. And remember, I can't put 12 in here because that's going to mess up my hundreds place value. I'm only adding up the tens right now. So I have to regroup here, and I have to carry that 1 right here and bring my 2 straight down here because I'm just in the tens. So I was in the tens, so I carried over that 10, because remember, if you think about it, 12 is 10. If I'm putting this in expanded form, this is 10 plus 2. Okay, 10 plus 2 is 12. So I left my 2 down here and I carried my 10 over to the next category. But now I'm in the hundreds place. So 5 plus 8 plus 1 is going to be 14. So I have to carry my 100 over and put my 4 here. Now I'm going to go 4 plus 1 plus 1, which is 6, and then bring my 1 down, and so I have 16,421, and that is the answer that I was looking for. So inverse operations, when your numbers, you can use these numbers to help you figure out if your answer was right or if it was wrong. Okay, where it says subtract, use the grid to record the problem. This is really, really important that you have all your numbers lined up according to place value. If you have them in the wrong order, it will mess up your answer. So if you need to get better grid paper, go ahead and do so. It should be in the back of your binders, but if not, just really make sure that those numbers are lined up. Okay, so for example, like my 1s are lined up, my 10s are lined up, my hundreds, thousands, my 10,000s, and then my 100,000s. See, notice how there's nothing here. So if it helps, you can put a 0 there. Otherwise, you don't have to. Just make sure that your numbers are lined up. Otherwise, you're going to get goofy answers. Okay, so we are subtracting. So first thing, we're going to start on the right side, 0 minus 2. Can I take 2 away from 0? No, because I'm at 0. I'd be in negative. So I have to go to my next door neighbor, which is a 5. Okay, I'm going to borrow from my tens place, and instead of a 50, that's going to be 40. So I'm going to bring my 10 over and make that a 10. So 10 minus 2 is an 8. 4 minus 3 is 1. I'm in trouble again because I can't take 8 away from 3. So I have to go to my thousands place. Instead of 7,000, this is going to be 6,000. And I'm going to bring that 1,000 over to my hundreds category. So now I have 13 minus 8. Okay, 13 minus 8 is 5. Put my comma. 6 minus 3 is 3. I can't take 3 minus 4, otherwise I would be in the negatives. So I have to borrow from my 100,000. Instead of being 600,000, it's going to be 500,000. Bring that 100,000 over to my tens thousands place. Make that 13, so 13 minus 4 is 9. Bring my 5 down. So now I have 593,518. Okay. Alright, so the rest of the video is on the second video that goes with 1.7 lesson. So I will see you in the next lesson. Thanks. Bye.